Hello, welcome to my new video. This video will consist of my top 5 good film endings. These are not necessarily the best films that have been made, but they're just in my opinion. There will be more, I think, eventually, another video, and I also will be doing a bad films ending. So the first ending I'll be talking about is Batman Begins. So Batman has just taken that Ra's al Ghul, and obviously they've finally create like a peaceful Gotham City. So Commissioner Gordon has just been promoted to lieutenant, as said to Batman. It made him in the meantime as well. Has got a bat signal, so they've been on top of a rooftop. They're talking about next another criminal at Gotham. He's got a calling card, and in obviously the case file, you see it looks at obviously the next clip shows you a Joker card, which obviously hints. Obviously, that the Joker, which is obviously an iconic Batman villain, that will be in the next Dark Knight. The reason why I like this ending is because yeah, obviously you know the Joker would. Anyone who's seen this film obviously would know the Joker's in the next one, Dark Knight. But it's quite good because it could either left me feeling, when I watched it properly first time, that it could mean a couple of different things. I mean, yeah, the Joker would be in it, but there might be another villain who might do a few different ones, just like in Batman Returns they did obviously Catwoman and Penguin, or they could do obviously like Bane and Natalia Gore obviously with Dark Knight Rises. Obviously it was a good ending, and obviously it left you hanging in good tension. Obviously we knew that it was going to be a solid character for Dark Knight. Yeah, and for my next for my next ending, it's going to be Scarface. So Tony Montana is at the pinnacle of the drug world, and he works with another drug lord called Sosa. And basically, he was supposed to take out a journalist, but because when they was on the actual job, the journalist was with his family. So Tony Montana, obviously, even though he's obviously ruthless and killing, didn't want to kill anybody apart of his family. And obviously he killed the guy who was in charge of the actual bomb. So obviously in the end he failed it. When Sosa found out, obviously he wasn't happy. Tony Montana wasn't having any of it. So obviously Sosa ordered a massive army onto Tony Montana's mansion. So obviously at this point of the film, Tony Montana just lost it. He's killed his best friend Manny, his sister Gina. Obviously he's like gone through so much like bad stuff in the entire film. So obviously at the end of it, he's just basically losing everything. His wife's left him. So by the end of the film, at this point, obviously, bear in mind the army is actually like infiltrating Tony Montana's obviously mansion. So he's in his office, just literally at the lowest point. Obviously, you've seen him in the film. There's massive bundles of cocaine everywhere. Like you just think, this guy's just nuts. Obviously, like which he obviously is. So in a cocaine-fueled rage, he attacks the army after one of the people in the army actually kills Gina. So he just loses it, grabs I did actually think it was an M16 assault rifle with an attached M203 grenade launcher, but I found out recently that it's actually an AR-15 assault rifle. Obviously that might not be irrelevant, but yeah. So obviously in a cocaine-fueled raid, bear in mind it's so much cocaine, adrenaline's at the all-time high. He just goes out there with the famous line, "Say hello to my little friend," blows a massive hole in the door, just goes through tons of ammo, grenades, everything, and he actually does a really good job. He somehow manages to kill a large part of the actual army, but eventually obviously he gets shot a number of times. At the beginning he does get damaged, obviously gets hurt, as you obviously seen in the scene, and then eventually he gets shot so many times, loses his gun, and because he's got so much drugs going through him, the adrenaline is so high, obviously he just gives up. He's getting shot to bits everywhere, but obviously none in their face, because for some reason they aren't actually hitting him in the face, which is a bit weird. But unaware to this, there's actually a hitman, which is from like Sosa's hitman. You only see him a few times in the whole film, and he's called the Skull. So he's climbing up the actual top of the building, which is obviously Montana's office. So he's slowly, like a silent ninja basically, gone through the office, and he's got a double-A shotgun, sawing off I think, and just blows up. A shot just unloads right into Tony Montana's back. Obviously that's killing him. And he just basically breaks through it. His like balcony part goes right into his little fountain, with the iconic statue saying "The world is yours," and he's floating all covered in blood. It's a great ending because really at this point, Tommy had literally nothing else to gain. He lost everything. His wife had left him. His mother hated him from previous life experiences or whatever happened in Cuba. His sister's dead. His best friend's dead. So there's nothing. All his men are dead. So what would he really gain by escaping? He was just been on the run probably because Sophie obviously was still had a hit on him. So it was a great ending because I don't know if he really deserved it, but then again, because he is kind of, that was a good, in my eyes, a good decision not to kill the journalist's family, because obviously like he does have some respect. But then again, obviously the actual job was to kill the journalist. Obviously didn't do that. So obviously if you've got a job to do, you don't do it, then obviously you got to get some sort of comeuppance. But it's a great ending. It's a really good scene. I mean, there's a great, obviously, like seeing how like he managed to kill so many of them. And you just think that is so cool. How like goes with tons of ammo, self-destruct mode, Tony Montana. It's a great scene. So my next scene is Green Street. This is not necessarily the best film because obviously there's tons of other films that are way better. And obviously this is a football hooliganism film, and it stars well, sorry, not stars. So basically, the ending revolves around two football firms: West Ham's GSC firm and the Millwall firm. Just like in real life, obviously, like they're real life, obviously firms. Even though it's kind of stupid that people obviously fight, like just for the sake of it. So years back in the flashback, it shows you before the actual towards the end of the film, Steve Dunham actually run the GSC, and obviously back in the 80s they had a big match, or the 90s. Not sure what time period it was, and Tommy Thatcher, I'm not very good at talking sometimes. Tommy Hatcher, the leader of the Millwall firm, brought his son along, and he died unfortunately in the fight. So obviously he blamed Steve Dunham for this. So he injured him previously. So obviously Pete Dunham, the new leader of the GSC firm, the West Ham firm, organises a final fight between the Moore firm and the West Ham firm near Millennium Dome. And the main character, Matt Buckner, a wrongly accused university student in America, comes over and obviously adapts to the hooliganism life. So obviously the cousins, obviously Matt and Pete Dunham. So there's a massive fight, a really good choreographed fight, like brutal, blood, broken bones, and you see like the main face-off between Tommy Hatcher, and Pete Dunham. And at the beginning, Pete Dunham has the upper hand, but eventually Tommy gets a baton of some sort and just starts pounding Pete. Like he I think breaks his kneecap at one point, or maybe dislocates it badly. He can't walk, and obviously at this way he's crumbled, he's all like crippled. Basically, he just can't get up on his own. He's just so badly battered from the obviously hits from the baton from Tommy, and obviously the bother. He's obviously right. A man who's another character in the GSC firm comes and helps him. Just punch the crap out of Tommy Hatcher. Obviously, then they get pulled apart. So when they see Steve Dunham's wife obviously appear, they go obviously after him, and they obviously what her out man Tommy. So they both get separated. And then Pete Dunham uses one last heroic attempt basically to try and distract Tommy from not harming Steve Dunham's wife. Talks to him about how he killed his son, not the GSC, and he just goes, obviously rather than disabled, obviously it distracts him. But unfortunately Tommy just unleashes fury punches, thus killing Pete, which is a shame. It's a really good scene, like I said before, really good choreographed, really good effects. The fight ends because obviously someone's died, which obviously I don't think that's the whole objective of the actual fight. Matt gets away with Sharon, they leave. They leave, I think, go back to America or something, and obviously Pete dies. It's a sad ending because 9 times out of 10, a cliche thing would have happened. Normally the good firm and the people you want to succeed, Pete, obviously, and Matt, they would obviously defeat the Millwall firm. But it's a good twist because you wouldn't actually think that Pete would actually die, but it's a shame he did. It was a good little twist, that's why I like it. Good choreographed fight, obviously, and it's a good twisted ending. So my next good film ending is Terminator 2. Obviously the majority of people do probably know Terminator 2. I didn't say this before, but if you haven't seen any of these films, don't watch this video. Spoiler. I will link in the description below that it will be spoiler. So you have to watch these films before, or if you don't really mind, go ahead and watch the video. So Terminator 2, the ending as T-800, obviously the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, has just defeated the T-1000. Liquid metal, quality character, really iconic, like extremely hard to beat. So you just got a grenade launcher and just blew him apart. Really got like a central part, like a weak spot in the T-1000, blew it to bits. He's falling backwards into the like lava pool. Obviously, he's got this obviously basically like evaporated or whatever you want to call it. So, but at the same time, the T-800 has taken a massive beating in this. Like his arm's been ripped off, massive hole going through his like whole obviously chest. So obviously he's damaged. His like face been ripped off, lost his hair, that sort of thing. So a massive, obviously beating. So Sarah Connor obviously must know that even though it's ended and obviously they can probably go off and do whatever, that the chip obviously in the T-100 has to be destroyed because you can't self-destruct. Even though John Connor doesn't want it to go because they formed a really good partnership, obviously John Connor and the Terminator, and even Sarah Connor, even though obviously in the other film that he was the enemy, now he's the goodie. Even though them two have obviously formed a good partnership, and a good understanding. It's a shame he has to go. So they get lowered. The Terminator gets lowered into the obviously the lava pool. Obviously get melted, which is a shame. And he obviously because like that's him. Obviously that's him. They know they will see him again. They're saddening them because obviously you don't want to see the Terminator obviously die, but then again, that's the whole point of I think. By the end of the film, they can't have obviously a Terminator obviously in the current world, so he has to self-destruct. It's a shame. But obviously, as you see in the next film, he comes back. So obviously, because he gets sent back again. So obviously, it's a good film. It's a great ending because, and again, another kind of twist. You kind of think maybe could he stay with him, but unfortunately he can't. That's the way it is in the film. So my final review is District 9. So the main character is Wilkes, and unfortunately he got a substance sprayed into his face beginning of the film, and he obviously turned into a prawn, which is the aliens for this film. So he's helping another alien, which is called Christopher Johnson, and he has to get back to his obviously home planet or another obviously place, so he can obviously get back. He can obviously revert Wilkes into his obviously human form, because obviously by this point he's got like a alien arm. He can use their weapons. He's like getting all deformed. His eyes are going all funny. Really good effects. Obviously like really good makeup. So it's really good on their part. So as he's trying to help Christopher get back into the spaceship, one of the baddies who survived, one of the units, it's called I think Bookus, or I'm not sure. I'll link that in the description as well. The actors' names, because I'm not very good at pronouncing the names. So he's got Wilkes has got into this like battle suit with like evaporate humans, just like that, like missiles. But then again, he has been taking a beating. So eventually, it ejects Wilkes from the suit because too many damage. I don't think you can obviously use it. So at this point, Bookus has like had enough of this. Obviously, like nothing he's tried his work so far to kill obviously Wilkes. So obviously you think, oh okay, so he's going to get killed. Out of nowhere, a ton of prawns have just surrounded Bookus and tear him limb from limb. Literally, it's such a good scene, like how he's going to rip limb from limb. You just think, oh that's disgusting, but it's a really good effect. You think that guy deserves it. He's just been like a bastard the entire film, over the majority of scenes he was in. You just think he deserves it. When you think about those films of enemies who deserve to get killed, he was one of them. So obviously he got the comeuppance. Obviously he got tear limb from limb. So by the end of it, the only bad thing about the ending is Christopher will take 3 years before he can come back, which is a shame because obviously you want to get Wilkes back to his family life because he's been on the run for the entire film. So that might be a bit more spoiler alert, but obviously I said this spoiler-filled video. So by the end of it, you see that Wilkes has gone to his home, obviously his former home, and put like a little metal flower. So obviously his wife obviously recognises that no one else could have done that sort of thing except Wilkes. But then you see a fully formed prawn with like a familiar clothing style. So you must obviously, to my guess, that is Wilkes, which is a shame because he was wrongly accused of what happened in the film. I'm not going to spoil it because obviously you have to go ahead and watch the film. So he's a fully formed prawn, which was a shame because he don't want that to happen. But it's really good effects, really good film. Check it out. So this has been my top 5 good film endings. I say I will probably make up another film endings because there've been so many films that I've seen. A lot of films through obviously the last few years. I can't remember all of them. I have to go through the different films I got. Maybe select number 5. But like I said, I will be doing another top 5, and this will be top 5 bad film endings, which will be our next couple of days. Also, I will be doing my Raging Bull film review shortly as well. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.